Let us hope that the brightness of education overcomes the darkness of division, injustice, and aggression in society and leads us to growth, equality, and liberty. I would like to request our lead guest, Dr. Dharamveer Sir, our teacher in charge, Dr. Jyotsna Ma'am, and a senior teacher, Ms. Kamlesh Ma'am and Ms. Geeta Ma'am, to please come forward for lancing. I would request our Honorable Kamlesh Ma'am and Jyotsna Ma'am to greet our guests with a planter as a token of warm reception. On behalf of Econtric, we would now like to hand over a small gift as a token of gratitude to our guests, beautifully handcrafted by Nancy. Now, we would like to have Manisha Ma'am on the dais to give us a brief introduction about the guests.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming today. We are extremely delighted to welcome our esteemed guest, Dr. Dharamveer. He's Assistant Professor at Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi. Sir has done his PhD from School of International Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University. He has written extensively on issues related to public policy in the area of agriculture, development, Russian environmental policies, and income inequality. Many of his chapters have been published in various books and journals. We're honored to have you here, sir. Therefore, without further delay, I would like to call upon Dr. Dharamveer, sir, to enlighten us with the knowledge on development in the external sector of Indian economy and Indian budget 2023.
बोलिए
नहीं वो भी है फाइन और ये भी वर्क कर दो ये भी वर्क नहीं कितने लोग वो थैंक यू
Very good morning to all of you, dear students, Dr. Jyotsna, and like all the colleagues. like she invited me, and thank you very much for inviting me, and I'm really excited to like to be with you here. So, like as we know, like recently, like our Prime Minister, our Finance Minister, like she presented the budget on 1st February, and definitely, like budget is very important from the point of view of like understanding how like the allocations are like done by government in various sectors. So, actually, my area is trade and development. So, she asked me like where you want to like give your like lecture. So I prefer I will give lecture on external sector because that is my area. But she requested me to put some light on health and education. And she asked me, okay, like there is more demand for student on these sectors. So I follow that request, and I also like first, in fact, I will start from like health and education sector, and then I will come to the external sector. Okay. Oh. So as we know, like health and education is very important from the point of view of human capital, which if we compare to other countries like European countries and US, like or other developed countries, the human capital is lacking in Indian like scenario. Okay, so what are the allocations basically in like current budget on health and education? We will discuss that, and what are the implication of that? Like what could be the implication? What are positive effects, and what are the missing things like which could be done in like recent budget? So, yeah. So, like the major announcement in like recent budget for health sectors, these are like first is 157 nursing colleges. They will be established in co-location with the existing 150 college established since 2014. That is first, you can say important announcement. The second is like there is a mission to eliminate sickle cell disease by 2047 through awareness and through existing institution to create awareness availability of skill power. Sorry, say like through universal screening of 7 crore people in the age group of 0 to 40 years, the affected tribal areas and counseling. So that is a mission like that is a mission basically that like the government wants to introduce. I will tell you why it is important. So the next is facilities in selected ICMR labs. That is Indian Council Medical Research Labs. They will be made available for research by public and private medical colleges, secretary and private sector research and development. And there is a new program to promote research and innovation in pharmaceuticals through centers of excellence. So these are major, basically, you can say announcement on healthcare sectors. Okay, now important things like in budget, what we see how much allocate, how much allocations are made to this sector. So the estimated outlays this year it is 89,155 crore, while healthcare spending like it occupied only 2.2% of the budget last year. It reduced to 1.97%. So there is a reduction. Okay, as a percentage basically, you see there is a reduction in health sector. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and Department of Health Research, basically that is the you can say that is for the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and that is for Department of you can say research, health research. So it is a combination of two basically. So which is a 12.6 hike, like there is a 12.6% hike in as compared to last revised budget estimates. So if we compare it to last revised budget estimates, okay, then it is 12.6% high. But if we compare only budget estimates, okay, part of the estimated budget, it is not revised estimate, but budget estimate, it is only a 3.5% high. Okay. Now, what will be the implication of that allocation? What could be the implication of the announcement? The budget focuses on research and innovation. As we can see, like there is a more emphasis on research and innovation in the recent budget basically, as these factors are essentially driving very growth. So there could be various priorities, like it could be for certain like facilities, or it could be for research and development. So, like in my view, research and development is very important because it has a long-lasting impact on that particular sector. The emphasis of budget on digitization with increased focus toward modern tech. It would ensure specific adoption of digital tools and enhance research in artificial intelligence. So as we know, like today's world, it is for digital things, and like artificial intelligence is continuously growing basically in all the economies. So there is a focus, and it is the need of hour. It also aims to fostering a robust research ecosystem because they want to increase research and development in that particular sector. Okay, which would help in achieving universal health coverage by enabling accessibility and availability of life-saving medicine, so that we can create more. Like in fact, if we see the export, okay, the pharmaceutical sector, it plays very important role in exports, in like exports from India. There will be a multidisciplinary training for development of medical devices. Is key enabler for domestic industry. Okay. Now the investment. So the first announcement it was 157 nursing college, because let's see in health sector we are lacking from western world, from like developed world. So where we have to invest actually, that is the health and education sector. So health sector it is like lacking very badly. So we don't have like proper like we don't have much doctors, we don't have, like if we count in per capita terms, like per person, the number of doctor, it is very low. Okay. So the investment towards nursing, it is a progressive move, as it is the need of hour, because it will help the country to fill in the gap of nurses per patient ratio as per WHO standard. So what is the WHO standard? It is 3 nurses per 1,000, but we have only 1.7, like 1.7. That is the ratio. So it will help in achieving that basically standard. The most significant healthcare announcement in the budget, it is on sickle cell disease. Why it is important? Because in South Asia, the highest prevalence of sickle cell disease is in India, and especially in tribal areas. Okay, so that is very you can say significant health announcement. It is widespread in tribal population in India, where about 1 in 86 were among ST. You can say they have STDs. So every 86, like 1 in 86, like it is like suffering from STD, sickle cell disease. Okay, so now what are the missing? Like what, like where the government is missing in that particular in present budget? The union budget does not provide any relief to poor and marginalized in the country, who continue to suffer a health, education, cost of living, and climate crisis. Okay. So, however, the budget provides further cut to the rich in the country. So there is no special announcement for you can say marginalized section, like who don't have access to these like facilities. Inadequate allocation, of course, like for health sector, there is a direct relationship between allocation to that sector and the improvement in facilities. So there should be an increase in you can say there should be an increase in allocation. Allocation increases in absolute terms. So when we see the like increment, okay, in absolute terms it is increasing, okay, but reduced as a percentage of total budgetary outlay. So as I like as we know, I have discussed, like it is reduced to 1.97%. But if we adjust it, if the increase is adjusted for GDP growth, inflation, and population growth, the allocation for the health sector, it has effectively been reduced. Okay, so because we have higher inflation, so if we have like in real terms, basically it is reduced. It was expected from the current budget to increase healthcare expenditure to at least 2.25%, with a dedicated toward primary and secondary healthcare system. So basically, what is missing in this budget? that is the focus on primary and secondary healthcare system. Okay, so you can say like the present budget does not provide any emphasis on that sector. There is nothing at all about how to improve access to primary healthcare sector. Okay, so there when you see the allocation, okay, there are only two schemes, centrally sponsored schemes that have received hike in the budget. Status quo has been maintained for the most other scheme. So see, so if you announced one scheme, like suppose one scheme is announced in this budget, okay, and if you are not following that, if you are not allocating any further fund in the next budget, then this is like there is no meaning of this. So there should be a continuation of like budget allocation to previous schemes also, which are you can say announced previously. So now again, like along with healthcare system or along with health sector, education sector is very important. Okay, so because it has certain extra social benefit. Okay, it's not just cost benefit analysis, because it has certain spillover effects on economy. So that's why it is very important. So what are the major announcements regarding education sector? These are not very much exciting, but yes, there are some announcements. Teachers training to be re-envisioned through innovative pedagogy, continuous professional development, and ICT implementation. To build a culture of reading and to make up for the pandemic time learning losses, National Book Trust, the Children's Book Trust, and other sources will be encouraged to provide non-curricular titles in regional languages. So that is another announcement. Center will appoint over 38,000 teachers for 700 plus Eclavia model residential school, serving 3.5 lakh tribal students. Okay. Then again, you can't say it's not especially the education sector, but we can see like if there is a learning, then it is educating someone. So PM Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4.0 will be launched, will still used within the next 3 years, and training for coding, artificial intelligence, robotics, IoT, drones, and other soft skills will be offered. So these are the, you can say, announcements and recent budget. Next topic. Yeah. The another announcement is National Digital Library to be set up for the children and adolescents for availability of quality books across geographies, languages, genres, and levels, and device agnostic accessibility. There is Unified Skill India digital platform will be it will enable demand-based formal skill linking with employers, including MSMEs, and facilitating access to entrepreneurship skill. The other is states will be encouraged to set up physical libraries at panchayat and ward levels and provide infrastructure for national digital libraries. That is another announcement. District institutes of education and training, that is called DITE, to be developed as vibrant institute of excellence. So these are the announcement on you can say education sector. Next slide, please. Now, what are the positive aspects of budget? Like if we want to see positive, though these are not very exciting, okay, but like there is something important, like everything, if there is some announcement, there is some positive and negative, okay. It depends on priority basically. So the establishment of a national digital library, okay, for children and adolescents, physical libraries at panchayat levels, and a focus on teachers training. These are all steps in the right direction. Yes, we can say that there should be a digital library. Why? Because digital library, if they have access to internet, okay, in that case, the remote area, like students from remote areas, which can't come to like these, you can say institutions, which don't have like daily time or they don't have resources to access, you can say the good books, okay, or like the good literature. For them, it is a welcome step, because if they have internet, they can use that digital library. Okay, the allocation for providing reading materials to include reading habits. So you can say ki, yes, like in India, we don't have that much reading habits in you can say adults. So it is a good you can say incentive to induce basically reading habits. Is a step toward promoting literacy and lifelong learning. Definitely, he can say okay, it's a positive. The commitment to establishing 38 800 teachers and support staff for the 740 Eklavya Model Residential School over the next 3 years. It is a major boost for tribal students. Yes, like we can say, okay, they will recruit 38,000, almost 39,000 teachers. So definitely it is going to affect the tribal students who will not have access to quality education and opportunities. So like all of like us know like how much accessibility is there for like remote areas, especially the tribal areas. Okay, so they don't have like much access to that quality education. Okay, maybe we are lucky enough to reach here, but like all the you can say students, or you can say all, they are not that much lucky enough to reach like in these institutions. Now, what are the concerns? The concern is again there is no information on completion or impact created by the sponsor supposedly path-breaking education initiative announced in the previous one. Again, there is a no continuation of announcement for previous budget scale, like which was announced in previous budget, like digital universities or HEPA higher education financing authority. The allocation has been reduced to nil this year. So there is no allocation for previous like budget announcement. There is no allocation. Again, inadequate allocation because the NAP basically it envisions 6% of GDP should be spent on education sector. So how much we are spending? It is almost 2 or 2.5%. It is not more like higher than that. Okay. So the national education policy it envisions that spending on education it would be at least 6% of GDP, but we are having nowhere for a variety of reasons. So like we are saying there should be a 6% of expenditure, okay, of GDP. 6% of GDP should be spent on only education sector, but like it will take like much time. Okay, those are new initiatives, signal the right intention and are forward looking, but we must be careful that benefit does not keep accruing to those with access to internet and digitization. Okay, so again, definitely they are promoting digital libraries, they are promoting digitization and like access to like remote areas student. But the concern is no, like it's not the necessary everybody has internet access. Okay. So we have to careful about it. We have to basically increase the accessibility, like which don't have that much access to internet or you can say communication. So we need to ensure these benefits those underserved and marginalized schools and children who continue to learn without internet access and digital devices. Okay, so these are the concerns in present budget. Okay, next slide, please.
One thing, in the education sector, the allocation for digitalization that is improved in this budget. I can notice somewhere.
No. See, what is my point here? Like, yeah, I think like they announced basically like the total budget is 8 lakh, but like within some schemes like maybe they have some announcement. Okay, so now external sector, right? Okay. Now like first.
Sir, I also have a question.
Let me complete the we will discuss here. Okay. Yeah. This one. Yeah. Okay. Now, okay. So that was healthcare education sector. Now, what are the developments basically external sector? Okay. So as you know, external sector is very important from the point of view you can say growth of any nation. Okay, that's why it is very important. So if we see, like we are living in a globalized world. So if anything happens to in any country, that will affect like every country. Okay, so that's why you can say the external sector is very important, and there are few nations basically which have like base, like you can say large base of exports, like their economy is only based on only on external sector. Okay, so like from the point of view of India's economy, external sector play very important role in India also. Okay, so trade is essential, and definitely it is a means to balance equitable and sustainable development. Okay, now, no, it's not working, please. Yeah. So what is a global scenario? Like when we discuss like recent, what is a global scenario? Like if we want to look the recent developments. So definitely we have post COVID-19 disruptions. The global trade basically prospects we have improved. After like definitely we have the pandemic, and like every country's export it was disrupted. But after the pandemic, the global trade prospects they have improved. The global trade it exhibited resilience in the first half of 2022, despite the headwinds from the Russia-Ukraine war. So as I was explaining why it is important, or how like we are living in a globalized world. So Russia-Ukraine conflict, it causes many problems. There is a food crisis, there is rise in oil prices, okay, and it is also causing certain other like problems also. So the global trade volume it grew by 4.8% recently. That is the development after pandemic. In in half year basically, the global merchandise trade in value terms it rose year on year basis by 22.2% in 2021. Basically, that is the statistics. How like the global you can say trade prospects they have improved. But however, the global trade outlook turned grimmer in half year or like second half year. In first half year, the global trade prospect it was improved, but later on, like maybe like because of that Russia-Ukraine war, it was turned grim. And like okay. Now, what are the adverse factors which basically turn like that global prospect grimmer? That increasing likelihood of a recession in the major economies and tapering demand for consumer durables. So, like it was said, like it was said that there is a recession in US and European countries basically. So there was a less demand, like especially if we see the export sector, like if we see the export, you can say destination of Indian like economy, these are US and European. So if anything, like if there is a recession in US and European countries, definitely it is going to affect the Indian export. Okay, there is an aggressive monetary policy tightening by several central banks. So definitely, like all the banks, they increase their interest rate basically. The Fed increased their interest rate. Earlier it was only like near zero, like it was 0.5. I think it was 0.5 less than 1, but now they increase it to 2 and more than 2%. So how it affect basically? So if there is an increase in interest rate, like if Fed increases interest rate, basically there will be a more outflow of capital from domestic country. Okay, because the like the investor they will invest there. Okay, so there is a you can say less investment in domestic economy, or you can say Indian economy. Disorderly finance condition again, continued supply chain disruptions. Definitely, like the pandemic, it hardly disrupt the supply chain. Okay, so that also affect that our export sector. Now coming to that external sector. So what it include? What it include? Okay, so basically in external sector, what we see usually we see the balance of payment. So in balance of payment, what we see there are visible items and invisible items. So in visible item, we can say there is a or we can divide the balance of payment into current account and capital account. And like you are aware about it. So I am, you can say I'm considering it, you know it. So I am not focusing on that. So adverse global economic situation placed India's BOP under pressure in 2022. Okay, so there was a pressure on BOP situation. So in current account, I am just like giving some light on recent development. Okay, why I'm not giving the history of that. So there is a current account deficit. Okay, which is a 4.4% of GDP. Okay, what is current account? Export minus import. Okay, plus
Making natural transfers.
net remittances, okay, and service export. Basically, you can count visible and invisible items. So invisible item, that is, you can say trade deficit. So we have trade deficit, I have trade deficit, but it was cushioned by, you can say, remittances and higher export service export. Okay, so that was cushioned by this. So net of visible and invisible item, that is import, export minus import plus net services receipt and net private transfer, higher merchandise trade deficit. So we have a in last year, basically last financial year, we have a higher merchandise trade deficit. Merchandise trade deficit means like we have an export and import, we like exporting less than import. Okay, so we have 83.5 billion US dollar merchandise trade deficit. Okay, but because our service exports are larger than our, you can say, basically not larger, you can say ki usually it is in positive terms. We export more services than import. So it is, it have a positive impact on balance of payment. It is in positive terms, always, usually. And the second, you can say item, the second largest item of current account, you can say that is the remittances from rest of the world. Okay, so they always have a positive. So that's why if there is a deficit in trade, okay, if we have a trade deficit, then it is you can say compensated by net remittances or net transfer, remittances plus some other transfers also. So they have a positive, like they are positive basically in BOP situation, and like service export. Okay, so if we have more service plus net remittance transfer, then we have a positive current account deficit, but usually we have a negative current account deficit. Usually we have, okay, because like our imports are larger than exports. The net service export and remittances, they contribute to the surplus on the individual account, which cushion the mercantile trade deficit. Remittances, these are the second largest major source of external financing after service export, which contribute to narrowing the CAD. Okay, so they basically balance the current account deficit. Now the second, you can say, account is capital account. So in capital account, we have FDI. Usually, that is the largest component. FDI plus FII. FDI is the largest component of the capital account. The net capital inflow, okay, it is declined to 29.0 billion US dollar in first half financial year 2023. Means last year we have a negative, basically we have a net capital inflow which is declined basically if we compare to the previous year, okay, from US dollar 65. So in financial year, in half year, like the first 6 months financial year 2021, basically the capital inflow was 65.0 US dollar, but it declined to 29, only 29. So definitely negative, overall FPI, the portfolio, foreign portfolio investment, and recorded a net outflow of 2.5 billion US dollars. So there is a net capital outflow. Why? Because there was an increase in interest rate. Like the interest rate was hiked by Fed. So there was a capital outflow. Okay. Usually, like in terms of, like it is a short term. Okay. It does not take much time. FDI is a long term investment, and FII, you can say it's a very short term. You can fly it like within night. Okay. So it's have a like it's very sensitive actually. So we have a capital outflow because the interest rate was hiked by Fed. Okay, and there are other you can say factors also. External commercial borrowing ECBs to India recorded net outflow 3.0 US dollar, 3.0 billion US dollar in first half financial year 2023, as against credit flow of $5 billion in a year ago. Okay, so there was a so earlier we have a basically 5.0 US that net outflow. Okay, so again it is a negative. Now, what was the one like how it affected the balance of payment and what are the results? So can someone told me how that our exchange reserves basically increases or decreases? Why there is a DOP? Like why always that DOP is zero? Balance basically. Why it is zero? Always. You know that like balance of payment is zero. Yeah. Okay. So if it is not balanced, then see, like the main component of balance of payment should be zero. Why it is zero? If we have a negative, like we have a current account deficit, it should compensate like capital account. But if there is a negative capital account, then what would happen? We have to compensate it from the our reserves. Okay, so if there is a positive, like if the current account, if we have a current account deficit, but if we have higher like capital inflow, like within country, in that case, our reserve will increase. Okay, so almost like we have enough capital reserve, like these are enough, but there is a decline of you can say foreign exchange reserves. Okay, in like in last year. So again, the okay, yes. The adverse global economic situation they place India's BOP under pressure because there is a sharp rise in oil prices. Actually, okay. There is a policy tightening by the US. What do you mean by policy tightening?
Higher interest rates by
Yes, higher interest rate. Okay, deflate like inflationary policies. Deflationary policies. Policy tightening, which they are curtailing expenditure. They are increasing interest rate. Okay. Strengthening of the US dollar lead to FPI outflow. Definitely, as I saw, like there is a you can say appreciation of US dollar. Okay, why I am saying appreciation of US dollar? Like if we use it like with respect to rupee, definitely there is a depreciation of rupee. But if we compare the other currencies with respect to dollar, the dollar was appreciated. Okay, it's not the Indian currency only. It was appreciated with respect to other currencies also, like euro and like other currencies. So there was a depletion of foreign exchange reserves. So on a BOP basis, to the tune of $25.8 billion US dollar in half year financial year 2020, in contrast to an acceleration of. So in last year, basically, there was a increase basically. The foreign exchange reserve will rise by $63.1 billion in first half financial year 2020. But this year there was a depletion of foreign exchange reserves by $25.8 billion US dollar. Okay, so there was a reduction because there was a net capital outflows. Now the other important you can say element in BOP, that is exchange rate. How like see. That is the basically result of you can say deficit or you can say surplus of balance of payment. Okay, so definitely we know like it is market determines, like exchange rate is market determines. So on a financial year basis from April to December 2022, the INR has decreased by 10.8%, while from January to December the INR has decreased by 10. Sorry, like there is some mistake. It was 7.8%, but from January to December the INR has decreased by 10.8%. Okay, so there was a depreciation with respect to dollar. Okay, even in real terms, so we have two types of exchange rate, right? Near and real. Like if you heard about it, you just like go through like what is the concept, but what is the statistics about near, that is nominal effective exchange rate? Okay, up to December, the NEI of India depreciated by 4.8%, And on a financial year basis, April to December 2020, the INR depreciated 3.4% and 4.0%, measured in terms of 6 currency and 40 currency credit indices respectively. So that is for 6 currency, okay, weighted average, and that is for 40 currencies. Okay, so that was the real exchange rate. Okay, real exchange rate. Now, what are the announcements basically in external sector in the present? But the Union Budget 2022 and 24, it has increased the allocation for some key export boosting scheme. There was some allocation key, okay, like we want to export, we want to export gold. So allocation to the consumer department's key remission of duties and taxes on export products scheme, it has been increased by 10%. From 13,699 crore in 2020 to 2023 to the 15,069 crore in the next financial year. So there was an increment. Okay. The other scheme is rebate of state and central taxes and levies. A similar scheme for garments and beds made us the total outgo for the center. It will be 8,405 crore in 2023 to 2024, up from 7,461 crore. Okay, there was also like that is there was an increase. Both scheme is to refund the exporters to immediate non-creditable controlled state and local devices paid on imports. So basically, it's a refund of taxes. Okay, so if you want to export, you have to pay tax, but we will refund. Okay, so that was the scheme. So there was an increment. The allocation for the interest equalization scheme, it has been hiked by nearly a fourth to RS INR 2,932 crore in 2023-24 from 2,376. It's almost a 25% increase. Okay, so the scheme provides subsidies for pre and post shipment export credit and mostly cover labor intensive sector. So these are the announcement. This is a picture actually how much they increase basically. That is first scheme, that is market access scheme, very low implement. That TNA it is they are going to phase out it, like because there is only one lakh allocation to that scheme. Okay, transport and management internet interest equalization, there is a high, almost 25%. So according to the survey, the outlook for merchandise export, it will remain flat if global growth does not pick up in. So that is the concern. What are the concerns actually? Because our like export growth is directly related to the you can say growth prospects, global growth prospects. If the global growth prospects are like timid, basically, the IMF and other financial institutions, basically international institutions, they forecasted basically very like low, you can say, world growth rate. So definitely it is going to affect our exports because we are exporting to these countries also, US, like European countries, China. Okay, now like, but we have to diversify our export destinations. We have to export more to the maybe African countries. Now we are importing oil from Russia. So we have to diversify our import as well as export sector. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. What an amazing session it was. I'm sure all of us have got altogether a very refined perspective on the topic now. I would like all of you to give him a huge round of applause.
Taking the session forward, if anyone has questions, please ask. Questions, anyone? Sorry.
When we talked about when the import is higher in current account, like there is a deficit, right? So in which specific sector or area our import is the highest, what are the ways it can increase or it can be vaccine?
Export sector basically.
Yes.
So we have to, in terms of reduction of imports, we have to reduce our gold imports especially. We have to work on that because we are importing unnecessarily the gold. Like the gold is like our third largest import. Like after like the oil, we import gold mostly. So we have to like remedy. We have to reduction in.
So one more thing that is the energy fuels are also in the highest in the imports or is it not?
Yes.
In highest in the import section of our India,
Yeah, till now, like yes, of course.
after
Yeah.
gold, there is energy fuels.
Energy, like fuel, like it is the largest sector. We are, you can say energy deficit. We have always. We don't have any option. Because oil, so we can't import. We are like buying cars, but we don't have oil to run that. So we have to import, definitely. So energy, like we have to focus on renewable energy. So that we can like reduce our import. Especially, so if we work on, you can say renewable energy, green energy especially, like the government is focusing definitely, but it will take time, it's not that much easy. Like you can say like renewable energy has only like 2 or 3% in total energy consumption. And like it is very important from the point of view, you can say pollution also, because like like the electricity basically, all the electricity, like we are consuming that oil, definitely it will pollute our air. Okay. And the second thing, we are making that electricity, like we don't have that much hydropower. Okay. So we are burning coals basically. That is also fossil fuel. So that will basically emit pollution, pollutants in the air.
Anybody else?
Next question.
We were talking about renewable energy. So there was a lot of talk about hydrogen as a source of fuel. So government is it focusing any in the budget allocation towards renewable energy? Has it increased the budgetary allocation?
Yeah, yes, but actually I didn't see that how much allocated, but they definitely they are focusing on green energy. Like there is a particular allocation. I didn't cover that.
Maybe.
Just one thing, not a question, basically, it's kind of a debate in itself. We talked about if Russia, Ukraine, like external threat, and then this exchange, like what is happening in the world.
Yeah.
I just see three things. I mean, if you agree on the same thing and you can get some points. The three things are not very much segregated, right? That like the one is fueled by the other. So as soon as the Russia-Ukraine conflict started, we're already seeing the high inflation because of the the goods, the supply of the goods in India it has contracted and so on. So do we see any relationship between the conflict that has happened and the consequences of that and the impact that is having on the external sector?
If you see like how that Russia-Ukraine war affected the world economy as well as Indian economy. So like after Russia-Ukraine war, there was a spike in oil prices, and oil prices directly related to our inflation. Okay, so definitely that contributed to inflation rate also. Okay. But I will not say definitely see like if there is a price, if there is a rise in oil prices, because oil we use for transportation also. So there is a transportation cost, like there is an increase in transportation cost. So that contributes to inflation rate. But there are certain other things we can't say it is only due to that Russia-Ukraine. Like for inflation, there are certain other things also which are responsible.
This is precisely what I'm asking. Like, what is the magnitude of the war, like the conflict? Like the magnitude of the impact from the conflict on the external sector. That's not the only thing. The
But you are faculty here.
yeah.
So I think you are PhD.
No.
You should do a PhD yourself. See, there is no clear cut answer to that. So if you are not estimating, a particular estimation, so there could be a model. but there is no, like, in my view, so I don't like know what is exact, like how much it is contributing.
Anything change like the previous union budget we see, the status of the external sector
Yeah.
per se, like has anything changed? That's like, I'm not like,
External sector, in sense, like we have pressure on BOP, definitely, because there is the outflow. Like earlier, we don't have outflow, capital outflow, because there was a, you can say, like the Indian investment, they are also going outside. Okay, instead of coming, like FDI is not coming, FDI is going outside. Okay, there was a reduction in FDI also, and there was a capital outflow, which is very, you can say alarming. Actually, we haven't seen capital outflow from India usually, because India is a destination for investment for short term also. Okay, but there is a capital outflow because there was an increase in interest rate. US, like they hike their interest rate. So if there is a like you can say like before that, I think like after like 20 years that Fed hike that rate to that level 2%. Okay, so it is very high actually. So definitely why they will invest in India, they will like put their money in safe like
Currency.
definitely. So there is a capital outflow for India. So that also affected the, you can say, price rise basically, yes, on Indian balance sheet. So again, and like definitely the pandemic also affected because we don't exported much, okay, and because of supply side disruption. So like these are the factors.
But I have a question. So with signs of global recession, do you think the budget has any allocation or any precautionary steps towards it from saving the economy from that Indian economy?
I like I don't think so. India is facing any recession like temper. Okay, it was like we can say in European countries there was some, but now I think they are also recovering. Like, so there is definitely there are some sign of because like a lot of companies basically they are firing their employees. So that you can see there is a recession thing like Zomato, like there are a lot of companies which are like, but on the other hand, the TCS and Infosys they hire basically they increase their like employees. They are hiring more. So it's a mix actually.
And I would like to tap on with sir's argument that I think IMF, everyone knows the IMF predicted that India is going to be the fastest economy. So
It's a
they
destination
are
for
not
India.
in recession. They are one of those, standalone kind of economy that is actually doing well.
So we should not be concerned about.
So it comparatively we are doing much better than other countries.
isn't it, we are still facing the repercussions of the very recent recession. Repetition.
Since we like agree with it.
Of course, at least we. Like 2 years. Yes.
It's a channel for the change. Education to the
Like they have certain states, they have some allocations to boost export.
The external trade directly related all the trade reform with the tariff implementation. So does it mean anything?
No. See, tariff like we are in WTO trade negotiations. We are in WTO trade negotiations and we can't increase tariff much. Okay, so we have to provide support actually. So like the government is providing support to exporter basically. So there is a like increase.
So, thanks.
Thanks. So did you like to focus on the-
Yeah, of course.
That's really about like if you want to control the external sector. First. So
Actually, tariff, the Indian government can't use much tariff for external sector. So to promote growth, they have to provide certain incentive to export. So they are giving basically, they have certain scheme, which they will levy tax for export, but they will refund it. So there is an incentive. Basically, why it is that? Because in trade negotiation, we can't provide export subsidy. Okay, so okay, like we will tax you, then we will give you, give, like we are providing, like we are giving back to you.
But
So
the
it's
government
like,
is actually getting, right?
uh,
You are taking and you are giving, but actually.
no, it's not like that, but government is, gaining actually, so, see, like if you are consuming it here and if you are exporting. So if you are exporting back, it will have an impact on your exchange rate, and exchange rate have certain repercussions, you will have more foreign exchange. So there are other things, not like that, yes.
पर मेरा सवाल ये है आईएमएफ का जो प्रोजेक्शन कभी कभी लगता है कि कभी वो रात को उठते हैं और प्रोजेक्शन दे देते हैं
ऐसा क्यों लगता है कि वो रात को उठते हैं फोन देने में?
इंडिया को प्रोजेक्ट किया जा रहा है 7% और सेम टाइम हम 80 करोड़ लोगों को राशन दे रहे हैं सेम अभी एनीमिया के केसेस फीमेल के बढ़ रहे हैं हमारे इंडिया तो ये कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी स्टेटमेंट्स है
नहीं क्रॉस प्रोस्पेक्ट
लेबर इवन सर चाइल्ड लेबर में आपके बच्चे ज्यादा इन्वॉल्व हो चुके हैं आज के टाइम पे
See, India is known to be a rich country throughout India. So even though cumulatively, on a whole level, at a country level, they might be doing very well. But on a population level, because of our huge population, we are going to face the every challenge.
last
Abhishek,
last
I will answer your question.
last years में हमने 30 करोड़ people को ऐड किया है in the poverty में last 3 years last 3 to 5 years.
Okay, so yeah, your first question is कि we are providing actually we are giving food to 80 crore people. Okay, अगर आप उसको थोड़ा अगर उसको एनालाइज कीजिए तो वो 80 करोड़ लोगों को फूड क्यों दिया जा रहा है उसको आप थोड़ा सा like you can relate it to politics also. These are popular policies basically which government adopt usually in the you can say like election time. Okay, definitely like the pandemic actually. Okay, pandemic के टाइम पे अगर उनको सपोर्ट नहीं मिलता तो डेफिनेटली लाइक वो गवर्नमेंट उसको नहीं लाइक एडजस्ट कर एक बार नेसेसिटी तो उसको आप दो एस्पेक्ट से नहीं जोड़ सकते
The ability of getting the 5 kilo ration is that you have a BPL card. That means 80 crore people in India they are living in the
no we like my family is not having BPL card but they are getting that. We don't have 80 crore BPL card in India. Right? From where you get that data?
Every country has a social security net. This is our.
No. He is saying we have like BPL card only. No? So from where you get that data? Like we have 80 crore BPL card.
नहीं 80 करोड़ लोगों को राशन दे रहे हैं
राशन दे रहे अलग राशन BPL कार्ड अलग
BPL कार्ड होना चाहिए ऐसे नहीं मिल सकता राशन इधर आई गो टू राशन शॉप मुझे दे दो राशन नहीं देंगे यू हैव अ BPL कार्ड देन दे विल गिव यू राशन नहीं
ऐसा नहीं 80 करोड़ BPL कार्ड आप थोड़ा इधर आंसर and the second thing here see like you are relating actually the social security system to prospect growth prospect. Okay, so first thing you are saying कि वो रात में जागते हैं और ऐसे forecast दे देते हैं so actually as a academician you should not talk like that. Okay, there should be some basis. So I like ask you like provide some basis for that कि ऐसा आपको क्यों लगता है ठीक है
क्योंकि सर जो टेलीविजन पे दिखता है सोशल मीडिया पे देखता हूँ मैं अपने विलेज में जाके देखता हूँ
लोकल मीडिया पे आज तक पता नहीं क्या क्या दिखता है तो प्लीज like I really don't know you are like what you are talking about like say it's a serious talk you can't talk like that like there should be some like you have to provide some basic for that so is there any basic for your question The question was like it was very it was not very good actually. It was not good like it was not a good question.
It was an argument, not a fact. Yeah.
Of course. Arguments like oh, you can argue. You have like see the first sentence मुझे ऐसा लगता है. मुझे ऐसा लगता है. So you can't talk like that. मुझे ऐसा लगता है. आपको क्या लगता है? Doesn't matter. What are the facts you have? We have to talk about facts. And social media, you are talking about social media, like I don't want to talk about that. And you are like your basis is social media, not even media.
Yes. So in beginning of the external sector, we show that the total global trade is increasing. But if we look only about India, then the India's percentage of global trade is declining. In the last year, it has declined. So, is there any allocation, anything that has been done so that in the budget for that?
Yeah, there are certain things basically they increase their allocation to boosting export. There are certain
And also trade volume and trade value are
different.
That's what you have seen an increase in the global, but
Global.
India was in the
See, there is a demand for like there is a more demand. Basically, the Indian exports are related to demand in other countries. So there will be more demand. Definitely, we are exporting more. So there will be more export. So it depends. So if there is a suppose there is no demand, like in pandemic time, we don't have any demand because we can't export actually. There is a like low. It was almost low. So definitely, the export will be lower.
Yeah, they're recovering from the pandemic.
Yes. What is my argument? In the first half year, like after pandemic, the first 6 months, the growth prospects like for Indian trade, they were increased, global trade basically. But after that, because of that Russia-Ukraine conflict, it was again, you can say timid. We have timid. Yes,
So can we confirm that India is actually focusing more on exports?
yeah, you can say yes, like the present government actually wants to actually they are focusing on export promoting goods. Usually from the since like they came into power, they are focusing on only export promotion.
Because there is an argument by Professor Arvind Subramanian that India is actually turning inward and not focusing on export oriented. So how do we counter?
Yeah, like he has his views definitely, but definitely like the Indian government actually basically like his focus only on infrastructure and export promotion. So how we can export more? Like for example, they argue for that farm bills, there will be more export because we can establish food processing industry so that we can increase our agricultural sector like by processing basically. We can increase our revenue by putting agricultural products because usually we export primary goods. Usually. So, like, if you are saying what is the government focusing, definitely they want to export more, but maybe like due to certain conditions, like it can not be
The government's limited with art and Mutta. So if we keep that in mind, so how can we say that the government is focusing on exports? Because it is trying to focus on the domestic demand instead.
No. Again, like you are saying the government wants to promote export and Atmanirbhar. Atmanirbhar, like I don't know, like Atmanirbhar, what do you mean by Atmanirbhar? Atmanirbhar means we are importing less, we are producing less. So if we produce more, like if we are more competitive, in that case we can increase our export. So we want to increase basically domestic production. Domestic production which we are importing basically, there should be a like these basically what are the import what we are importing, they should be produced in India. So that is called Atmanirbhar. Atmanirbhar, we are importing less from other countries. We don't want to be dependent on others. We want to produce more. There should be a, like more research and development. Like these are other things. See how we can become Atmanirbhar, but the focus is what do you mean by Atmanirbhar? So there is a conflict. You are saying there is no demand. If we become Atmanirbhar, definitely we are producing more. Atmanirbhar means we are not like we are less dependent on that.
There was another argument of that we have a demand ministry. We don't have that sort of class in the economy that will absorb all of that we're going to produce.
So in that case, we will export. If the goods are competitive to others, then we can export.
And so
Demand constraint definitely. We have two India actually. The one section is very rich. Okay, you can compare that section to other countries, and majority of the people they lack basically that high. Okay, so we have to increase that. And like Indian middle class, basically it is it's a cash cow for other countries. Okay, so. Yes.
Actually, what you are saying is actually yes, sir, whatever sir is saying is actually correct. We are actually focusing on exporting, but exporting one outside the borders of a country and also increasing the trade inside the country across states as well. So when we this is what Niti Aayog also talked about. One, we have to be as I said export-oriented country. We have to be that kind of self-sufficiency. We can make things for ourselves and also make things for the world. One and another level to it is we have to be, we have to focus on. I think international trade can, identify this term at state level that one state can make one thing and export it to other states. So that
Intra, like within country.
Now I request our teacher in charge, Dr. Jyotsna ma'am, to come forward and extend the vote of thanks. Ma'am, please.
So, thank you, Dr. Ravi, for this extensive, interactive, and informative lecture. Thank you so much. I want to extend my thanks to my principal man, Professor Sadhna Sharma, and our non-teaching staff for their support. I include our faculty members, senior teachers, younger colleagues, and other department colleagues. And I want to especially thanks to the audience for the participation, and your participation gave me inspiration to schedule more academic activities to you. Thank you so much.
Great is the art of beginning, but greater is the art of ending. With this note, I would like to end this session. It has been such an honor to be a part of this wonderful discussion. On the behalf of the conference, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest, Dr. Dharamveer sir. Thank you, sir, for sparing your time and energy for today's session. I would like to thank you all for being present here, for making time for today's session and helping us to make this discussion a grand success. We request you all to fill the feedback form, which will be circulated in the WhatsApp group and sit in the evening. Please be seated for an organized departure. Thank you one and all. Have a phenomenal day ahead.
Thank you so much. बंद कर दीजिए वहां से एंड कर दीजिए सर वहां से
I think it's too loud.
थोड़ा सा आगे
Institutional application.
Lights taken, lights on condition. Lights on condition. Lights का switch नहीं
You can write in the picture by using printer. Okay.
iPhone and
Everyone.